Hello! Before getting to the main subject of this video, the UK is passing some laws that's been breaking over the past 48 hours or so. I say breaking, regarding wood stoves. If you superficially look at it, it doesn't look like a ban on wood stoves. Like, well, it's not a ban, it's just a lot of different regulation changes. But the devil's in the details. It essentially is a ban. It essentially makes it impossible to run and operate a wood stove. Your first fine is 300 pounds, and it just keeps escalating. And it's kind of crafty the way it looks, but there's a lot of information out there if you actually look it up on YouTube and Google. There's absolutely no coincidence, by the way, that we have. It was called conspiratorial, but there's an enormous amount of government regulation in the United States regarding gas stoves being banned. But now wood stoves, the reason why, and it has nothing to do with health, and this is not the main part of this video, by the way. I'm about to get to that. It has nothing to do with the environment whatsoever. It has to do with control. If you're somebody like me and you have like a gazillion trees, then that means I have control over my life, my energy. You can cook your food on it, and you can heat your home with it, and everything points to total tyrannical control. This is the main part of the video, a warning. I've talked to an enormous amount of people. I actually do ask people, complete and total strangers, people that would know, and this has happened to me. I've actually recently had a lot of scam attacks. Everybody gets them, I know that. I mean, I get plenty of them, probably more than most of you, but they've ramped up and they've gotten extremely crafty. And then this is Lexington. This is not Louisville. I have absolutely no love of Louisville. Louisville, supposed to technically say Louisville, which I consider to be Satan's jockstrap. I mean, it's not a good city. There's a lot of crime, and it's on the river. At Louisville, I just can't stand it. Lexington is about as calm and normal as you can get, and the good part of the town that I'm here on, the Lowe's, but also to the Home Depot. This sounds like an exaggeration, but if I'm lying, I'm dying. Every time, the past 2 times I've gone to Home Depot to get some tools, whatnot, there were major shoplifting events. The one time I talked to the guy afterwards, the tall guy that works there, guy's shopping cart came out. And you think this is anecdotal. I'm actually getting to the major point here, and it's something really important to consider. He went out there and said, hey, I got your license plate with his phone, and the guy's unloading the cart. There's no consequence. He says, I don't give a bleeping bleep, and he just drives off with the stuff. I talked to a Vietnam veteran that I know that works at my local Lowe's, and when he told me this, which I'm about to tell you, I said, you got to be exaggerating. There's absolutely no way that's true. It just can't be true. He said, no, it's actually higher than that. Shoplifting has increased a minimum, according to him, a minimum of 1,000%. A minimum. That's a 10-level increase. He said it's actually higher than that I know, according to the figures. It's absolutely, people are actually coming in and using the tools in the Lowe's home improvement store. I don't know if you know what a Lowe's is. They sell tools and hammers and ratchets and saws and drills and anything you think of for home improvement, fixing stuff. They're using the tools in the store because they have the DeWalt tools behind this caged rack that is on a sliding. It actually has a sliding rail. I'm always standing over top of it looking at the tools, and they're in the rack beneath, and using that to rip the grate off. They've already replaced it several times. You think they'd actually move them up really, really high, but they're just robbing the place blind. You're going to say, well, this is anecdotal. Okay, that's happened, big deal. This is Lexington. The things that have happened to me just in the past couple months, and this is addendum to the prior video that I uploaded yesterday, something that I predicted with 100% accuracy would happen is absolutely happening. And that is as people get more desperate, because people have been living on their credit cards. During this scam that's been going on the nonsense that's been going on for the past few years, people will be like, okay, I lost my job, or, I'm making as much money. They're living off their credit cards. Well, that can only last for so long. There's actually a report, as I already told you, that people are sucking money out of their 401k. That's the retirement account. They're getting home loans just to survive. What people are doing now, and this may not be applicable to Europe, I hear it is in the UK from a lot of people that live there, but definitely so in the United States. People are getting desperate. They're stealing anything not glued down. The scams are absolutely off the hook. I myself can personally attest to that. I mean, I've always got scams, email scams, this scam, that scam. People are stealing anything not nailed down. If they think they can get a buck for it, then it can try to get them closer to how they used to live. A lot of people in their ignorance and their greed and materialism are not willing to settle for making less income. They're not. It's like, I'm not going to settle. I'll do whatever it takes to maintain what I had before. And they're doing really, really crazy stuff. The theft is just absolutely off the hook. I see it everywhere. It's incredible. This is Lexington. This is not, excuse me if you think I'm going after your city. This is not Philly, Detroit, Miami, Orlando, Jacksonville, Atlanta, Phoenix, LA, San Diego, Portland. All these major cities in the United States where just crime has always been bad. And I've heard from these people that it's absolutely gotten redonkulous. Redonkulous is like 2 levels above ridiculous. Yeah, I know that's not a word. It's gotten redonkulous. It's going to mean, you think inflation was bad? Do you know what will rise prices up higher than inflation? It's shoplifting. They'll pass those costs on to me and you. There's a red shirt guy, which means he's a manager at a local Kroger's, which is a grocery store just down the street. Nice part of town. This is Lexington. Lexington is generally a pretty, it actually is an affluent city. You see, they're robbing the place blind every second, dawn to dusk. There's no consequences for these people. You've heard about this. You think, well, these places that have these DAs that, like, if people commit heinous crime, shoplifting, then they rob the place blind, and they just let them go the next day. Those places like LA, Chicago. No, I mean, it's kind of all over the damn place, and including here. This is the South. What I predicted is coming true, and it's not my... I gave you some anecdotal evidence of that, and you said, well, that's just anecdotal. That's not proof. Listen, I've heard from an enormous amount of you via comment and via email, a lot of emails, that you are getting robbed blind, either personally or where you work, and it's going to get worse. People have maxed out their credit cards. They've already taken out a second loan. I've heard from a lot of you that have said, I can't afford it. Can't afford to live, taking out a second loan, got to feed the family, got to take care of business, got to pay the friggin' bills. I get that. So all of this stuff kind of comes to a head like a snowball rolling downhill. It's like, well, it's a little bigger. It's okay. I could stop. It's a little bigger. It's a little bigger. It's getting faster, bigger. Okay, now it's too damn big. Now it's unstoppable. Get out of its way. It's like you either get out of the way or die. It will move on, and it already has started to. It will move on from grocery stores and the theft of tools and stuff from Home Depot and Lowe's and retail stores where they're stealing anything not glued down. And it will move to your house, my house, your personal being, your car. Break into your car. You don't even dare leave anything in your car, especially if it's visible. I just want to make a warning that everybody needs to be aware about this because it is getting really bad. And you need to make, the preparation is not the word, you need to be vigilant. You need to have your head on a swivel, whatever security you have for self and car and your property, to either reinforce it, double it. If you don't have any, you need to look into a safe too. I mean, I don't know what sort of valuables you do or do not have. My buddy does security. He doesn't believe in passive security. Passive security is where an alarm system calls the cops. Who cares? Criminals don't care. Sirens, criminals don't care. He's only into active security. Active security, there's a long list of them. Some of them I won't name, but they're frightening as far as active security. High decibel level, CS gas, CN gas. I'm not saying anybody do that. Smoke, it actually ramps up from there. I've also, too, know a few people that have an enormous amount of valuables. That is not me. And they've already had attempts on their property. 2 of them have already had attempts on their property. That's locally here. And they're reinforcing things. So it's going to, if you think it's going to stop at grocery stores and Home Depot and Lowe's, you're just flat out delusional. It's not going to stop there. If they see something juicy, I mean, as far as your house, what they think or know is inside of it, or your vehicle and what is inside of it, or on your person, make allowances for that. This is a serious warning to people because the credit cards have been maxed out in the home loan, you know, people tapping their own retirement 401k account. They're materialistic and greedy. They're not willing to accept a lower, you know, state of existence as far as what they eat or the lifestyle that they're used to. And they'll do whatever it takes to keep that up. And that means bad things for a lot of people. I'm not trying to frighten anybody, but I'm telling you this is real and you should be concerned about it. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely week. I've been doing leather work all day long. My hands are sore from doing leather work, but shipped off some wallets to some people. Have a wonderful week. I'll return to normal tomorrow, as far as videos go anyway. I love the live stream that we had on Sunday, yesterday. That was wonderful. It was really great. Thanks.